Today we have the real treat of talking to Natalie Hoerner. Natalie is from the Buffalo area. She lives in Orchard Park, and she participated in one of our local author festival events. Natalie and I first met, which is hard to believe, about 10 years ago when we did an art project when she was first getting into the gratitude field, although I'm guessing she's someone who has a very positive energy and has been feeling gratitude for a lot longer than 10 years. So we collaborated on a book, and Natalie has now taken it to many, many new levels. And it's a real treat, Natalie, to meet you and love to hear about how you got into this gratitude field. And then, of course, we'll talk about tips for finding gratitude right now.
Well, thank you, Leslie. And I want to start by saying how grateful I am to you, because when I came to you 10 years ago, you're such a great artist, and I came to you because you were helping you do Christmas cards and different things. And I saw this article in the newspaper in the editorial section, and a woman had written in, and she talked about how her daughter had given her a plain notebook, and how this notebook, writing down what she was grateful for, 5 things a day, how it had changed her life. And I don't know why the article struck me, but I had never, ever in my life had something do that to me, where I thought, I have to create this gratitude journal. And I came to you and I asked you, and you thought about it, and you thought, I think I know a way. And that set us on a journey of a year, which was hard to believe. It took a year, but we worked on quotes and your beautiful watercolors and poems, and the whole idea behind it was to give it to my family, almost like a little legacy of of me, because they were all things that I had collected, and it was really personal to me. And then what happened was, people loved it so much and it was so beautiful, but they really didn't want to write in it. So it set me on such a journey that I can't even tell you the courses I've taken and people I've met and places I've traveled because of this journal. And it's been such an amazing journey, and it's like it's miraculous. And so I owe that to you for helping me, find that thing I was passionate about in the dream that I had of doing this. So thank you so much.
Very nice. Well, we're obviously talking in this time of COVID-19 instead of being out in the square having a cup of coffee or a glass of wine to share together. We are doing this socially distanced virtual, something that's starting to become somewhat normal for people. What are some of your tips right now? I know I have, I'm sure you have many. I'm telling my friends, like, okay, I was in a slump today, waking up. Like, sometimes it's exercise. What are some ways to, when you're feeling down, to get yourself feeling some gratitude? Any suggestions?
Well, I think the biggest thing, one of the biggest ways, is to get out in nature. I think nature is so healing, and there's so much to see and to do. And I think a lot of times we live our life where we're not fully present. We walk out, we're walking around, we may be even taking a walk, but we don't really see, and we don't really hear, and we're not present. I mean, I'm amazed at times. A lot of times in the summer, I would get up and sit on my porch, and I'd be thinking about things, and I'd really have to say, listen, because all the birds were singing, and I didn't even pay attention. I didn't even notice. So I think nature is one of the biggest things. I think exercise is another. I know that there's so many people offering free classes right now that are great. There's books. And, one of the ways of, things that I love about practicing with gratitude is that it does make you present. So when you are practicing gratitude, the experts say to pick 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for every day. And I know it sounds a little hard, or sounds, a little hokey, and you think, oh, what's that, but when you start to do it and you start to write them in the evening after you've had a long day, it helps you to be present and to notice the good things that are going on around us. And so many times we're so busy that this time of pause that we do have, it is great to see some of the good things that are happening. And there are so many people that are stepping up and doing wonderful things, all the innovations that are happening, the creativity that's happening in the world. So there are so many things, and the kindness of people, and just reaching out to one another to help. So there are so many good things. And I think if we focus on those things, especially, at night before we go to bed, to be grateful for, if our families are safe and, we have food and we have water and we're healthy, we have a lot to be grateful for, So what I find too is that what happens is over time, I'm going to put a 30-day challenge out on my website too, for people to try and challenge themselves to at least find one thing that they're grateful for every day and write it down. And then after the 30 days, that's when the experts say that a new habit forms. And what it does is change the neural pathways of our brain. And so over time, the more we practice being grateful and looking for these things, the more we see. So what we appreciate appreciates.
Natalie, I'd love to hear a little bit more about your journal.
Well, I just so happen to have them. Here's the soft copy and the hard copy with Leslie's beautiful watercolors in them. And they're on my website for sale. And it would be great if you send it to a friend or donate it, or maybe you could do it with a friend as an accountability as part of, the gratitude campaign. And 20% of the proceeds will be going to charities or organizations to help during this pandemic.
Natalie, you have a wonderful offer of kindness to listeners. We're going to put a link to Natalie's website, so she has some nice resources there, and her email. And so, Natalie, if people get in touch with you, what would you like to share with them?
Well, I really wanted to do something to help, and I just think we can all do small things. But I had all these postcards that I had at home. They're gratitude postcards that I was doing on another project. And I have thousands of them. And I thought to myself, after I saw your Larkin, live at Larkin with Lauren last week, I thought, oh my goodness, why don't we do something on gratitude? What if we took the postcards and we did a gratitude campaign? And one of the most powerful exercises is writing a gratitude letter to someone that you love, a friend, a mentor. Sometimes I think we think that they can only be somebody who's done something like really wonderful, and that's really great. But what about the people that maybe have pushed us, or maybe it's been a little bit of a struggle in the relationship, but they also do something, they make us who we are. And so sharing that gratitude for some of those things is a powerful, powerful way. It not only benefits the giver, but the recipient, but the giver too. So it's a win-win. And so I thought, what a way to go. If we could put up on my website a place for people to get on. And what I would really love is for people to share a story of gratitude, something that they found that they're grateful for, or something through this whole pandemic that has really touched their heart, and put it out there, as a way of sharing gratitude. And then I will send you 3 free postcards that I would love for you to write a gratitude note to a friend, a family member, whomever has touched your heart, that you want to recognize, that maybe you haven't recognized before. And my hope is that, we can make a difference, one postcard at a time, sending out some hope and love in this time that the whole world is being affected. And it's a way to make a little small difference somewhere. And I'm hoping to put up like a map so we can see where these postcards are going, so that you know that your part played a part in this whole big movement, this campaign. And so as your friends or relatives or whomever you choose to give the postcards to, they will have the website on the back of the postcard. And so they in turn will get on the website and they will share a story and do the whole thing. So we want this to continue and grow and just spread this gratitude and love and something positive in the world with all this going on. And since we can't all be together, and it's a way of sending that love out.
Thanks. That is very generous. It's wonderful. I hope people take advantage of that. Again, we'll have the link we'll put it up on this video, and then we'll also have it in our blog post of how to directly connect with you. And I'm just thinking, as you're saying this, you could put it in the mail, but you also could drop off a gratitude postcard to the person who's, helping you at the grocery store, or your mail person, or there's so many people locally too that you could just, who wouldn't like that? So Natalie, at this point we're out of time, but I just want to say thank you so much again. I've got some great tips, and I think many others will too. You have a very uplifting spirit, and we really appreciate that you shared it with our Larkin Square, Larkinville community, because that's what we're trying to do right now is find some positives, we're calling it little Larkinville in your living room. And again, we hope we're all out there soon as I look out the window. So Natalie, I hope to see you soon in person. Meanwhile, thanks again so much for taking the time to speak to us.